My name is Richard Roth, and I was born and raised for the first 18 years in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But I was going to the University of Minnesota for 1 year and I didn't care for it. So I joined the Navy, and the Navy sent me to Key West. Well, going through Marathon, I met my wife at Jack's Dairy Bar. That was a drive-in restaurant that had opened in Marathon, and she worked there as a car hop. She would rent on cars in the parking lot, and I would stop there and get milkshakes between Key West and Miami. So I met her there, asked her for her phone number, she gave it to me, and then I started just coming to Marathon. So we got married in 1959, in March 8th, 1959. Our first daughter was born while I was in Key West at the Navy Hospital in Key West. I got a discharge in the early 1960, and I moved back to Minneapolis, and she flew up. First time she'd ever seen snow was when she flew up. And she walked down the ladder and stepped in the snow, and she jumped back. She said, "It squeaks." She didn't know it made any noises. So then our second daughter was born in 61, and then I was offered a job with the sheriff's office. The day we moved to Marathon was the day that Betsy hit. The storm was going through the Keys as we were on the turnpike up north of Miami. And I told Sandra, everybody's going north. We're doing something wrong. So I followed the Army trucks the next morning down, and we were in a convoy kind of. The Army trucks were first because they had dump trucks, and they were dumping fill on the washouts along the stretch where the road was washed out. So I was a road patrol for 2 years, and then they put me in plain clothes, and I was promoted sergeant, and I was a sergeant for about 8 years, working investigations. The governor who Allison ran with was, they ran for governor, lieutenant governor, and Allison, the governor, appointed me as the sheriff of Monroe County. So in total, I had 18 years as sheriff, which is the longest running sheriff that Monroe County has had. Although I think Rick Ramsey is going to beat me. He's off on a strong run, so I think he's going to beat me. I think Rick Ramsey is doing a wonderful job as sheriff. The Trauma Star program was really originated by Bill McDonald. He was the undersheriff at the time, and he had the idea of a transport trauma star, transport trauma helicopter. And so he was the one who really pushed it, so we were able to develop that. Then I planned retirement, and prior to my retirement, I contracted for a little workshop above my garage, and that's where I would go. It's a wood shop where I make things. I like to turn stuff on a wood lathe, and I make these, among other things, I make these bowls that have different kinds of wood in them. Then, about a year and a half ago, they told me I had lung cancer. So I went to the doctor recommended in Miami, and he went in and removed the upper lobe and the middle lobe of my right lung. And during that time, he also went into my larynx, my voice box, and was cutting lymph nodes out. Apparently got pretty close because my voice has never been the same. So I had a PET scan that determined I had brain cancer. They said that the brain cancer can't be cured, but they're going to treat it. I go back up next week for another PET scan, and they will determine if the cancer, how bad the cancer in my brain is, and if I can have any more radiation treatments. But I guess one of the biggest things that I can say is that this is where 45 years of smoking will get you. And I started smoking when I was in high school. I worked at a carnival. Everybody smoked. I was just one of them. Everybody. I also would like to be remembered as being a good sheriff. The buildings that have been erected, the jail, the headquarters, the plantation substation, the hangar, all have my names on them. So I will appreciate that I have a legacy of leaving something good with Monroe County, which I have adopted as my home. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate the support that you gave me from 1990 until 2008. I won every election. I had 5 generals. And Sanders said I have 6 or 8 runoffs and primaries. I don't know, but I had a lot of elections. But thank you for every one of them.